Dennis, great weather, big crowd, and West Australian Alan Watts coming from pole.
Yes, Alan Watts putting in a great effort, travels an awful long way to contest this Australian Championship. Very, very close at the front. Payton's leading at the moment from Attlee and Watts, all within 7 points of each other.
Well, it certainly is close. We've got a green flag at the back of the field, and it's a big field. Now that's Marcus Payton, bike 3. In the middle of the field, who'll come with them? Attlee looks strong. Attlee will lead them into the kink for the first time through. Great start from him. Field streams through. The bumpy track has really been, well, a problem for some of the competitors trying to come to grips with the suspension setup. And we'll see, well, just how that pans out for everyone. No, Attlee through into the bus stop section. Easy to see why it's the bus stop. It's actually a deviation off the car racing circuit, just to slow them down as they come underneath the bridge. Marcus Payton tries round the outside, down into Hungry Corner. You can see it's bumpy there, Dennis. It really does upset the back of the bike.
Well, it does, and Payton, being the home track boy, should have a real advantage around this circuit. It is quite difficult to set up the suspension. He would have been out here and done countless laps of practice, and will be doing his best to try and get by Attlee as quickly as he can to put a gap on him.
Well, Attlee leads them onto the straight for the first time. Didn't take long, did it? Look at that. Payton blasts straight on by, leaving, well, Attlee's now back into second. Watts there came from pole position, bike 5. He's looking strong. It's a fast motorcycle. He really has gotten some speed out of this thing. And Honda, oh, look at that, straight up the inside. So Attlee moves back a position into third. Watts comes through into second. Alan Watts, we were saying earlier, Dennis, that he really has become far more aggressive, hasn't he, with his riding this year?
Well, he has. He's been racing now for 11 years, ridden all sorts of machines, from 250 production, 600 Supersports. We're having a little replay here of Attlee coming at him, aviating the front wheel, getting the power on. But Watts has had a wealth of experience riding several different classes and put such an effort to travel the amount of distance that he does throughout Australia to contest this championship. Oh, he's right out there to the white line. He's certainly going to try and make every post a winner here at Lakeside.
Surely one of the keys around this circuit is a smooth, consistent lap. Try and get a bit of a flow together. The bus stop section sort of upsets that plan a bit, but once you get into a flow here, if you look at Alan Watts on screen, bike 5, he just loves the entry to the bus stop section. Quite a lot of rides. Gee, look at that. Marcus Payton's bike really did turn the front wheel, just drove on out. But it's difficult to get a bit of a flow up. Watty seems to love going into that bus stop section. It's blind, it's over a hill, very tricky, and you would expect that Marcus Payton, well, he's the fastest man out here at the moment, knows his way in there, just knows it in the back of his mind how to get the bike through. Look at the style of this man as he comes through this section. Knee up and over, then down into the little dip. Here comes Alan Watts. A good study here on replay, nice and slow, to watch how their knees operate. They use them, they get them out of the way and back onto the deck on the exit. Dennis, that's a graphic illustration as to how hard a rider is working out there with not only his knees, but his whole body.
Well, it is a very, very physical sport. Payton is, I think, certainly the master of style. Another close-up shot of him here, watching as he goes down the Hungry Oil. You can see the suspension there really working. He's probably just a few inches out wider than you should be on that particular part of the track. Coming up here, Watts and Attlee to a lapper rider. Watts aviates, goes one side, Attlee the other. It's going to be on down to Hungry Corner here. I think Attlee might have the advantage.
Again, we've got Payton now looking around lap competitors. Sure enough, Attlee's moved up into second place. Now, Alan Watts really did get the short end of the stick there as far as getting round the lap rider, but we know how fast Alan Watts' bike is. The machine speed of this is amazing, this Honda. Let's see how he goes as he comes onto the straight behind Attlee. We'll probably look for a slipstream. Who's this? Bike 15, Michael Clooney. That's close. The bike's pulled up short of the Armco. He's gone into the bags. He's not very happy about it either, but here's a fortunate man. Fast part of the circuit there. They're wide open driving down the hill onto the straight. Oh, we've got it here in replay. So it looks like the front end's gone. It's a bit hard to see, but gee, he's going feet first, and you can see where he's headed. Look, watch his helmet. He's trying to keep his eye on where he's travelling the whole time, and just goes blind to it right at the end. They're very, very fortunate indeed. And the dirt there soft enough to pull up the motorcycle as well. Attlee is still in second place. Alan Watts there just trailing him though. This time through there might be yellow flag area out for these guys, so they'll have to wait till they get onto the straight. And here we go again. Alan Watts using the horsepower but late under brakes. and has gone again deep, deep, deep into the carousel. Now, here's another lap competitor. Alan Watts got the short end of the stick last time. He won't do it this time. Gets up the inside before the bus stop. So that's a good move from him. Atlee's gotten through as well. In fact, Atlee just power sliding his way through there. Second gear for these guys, and they have a lot of, well, horsepower, not a lot of torque, but at those revs, these things are really able to turn the tyres. Alan Watts looks strong here as he comes up around the eastern loop. This corner seems to go on forever, doesn't it, Dennis? It just never seems to end.
Yeah, Watts having a bit of a moment. They're loading up the tyres, running Dunlop tyres on the machine, and they're using them right to the limit here. Atlee certainly hasn't given up yet. They're both closing in on Payton here. They've made a fair bit of ground up in this last half lap. In fact, Watts now slips up, or tries to slip up the inside, gets his nose rudely cut off by Payton. Now this is really turning into a three-way battle. Oh, I think Payton must have some sort of trouble with his bike. He's slowed down there in the last quarter of a circuit substantially. And Watts and Atlee both slipped by. Payton now back on the job.
And I wonder what it could have been. He's definitely slowed up because he is super quick through there, and both of these guys managing to get him there in what's technically a fairly slow portion of the circuit. Well, Alan Watts now in control and leading this, the third round of the Shell Advanced Road Racing Championship for motorcycles. The 250s have been, well, a real battle right from the drop. Phillip Island, then on to Eastern Creek. We've had some great races from these guys, and they're still turning it on. Oh, look at that bad luck. Marcus Payton. You'd just be distraught, wouldn't you, Dennis? What can you do? The bike has broken down on his home track, the best chance he had. Either way, the race is still going on at the front. Atlee there's determined to fight back. Well, we've still got Payton. Oh, no, he's just giving up now. Gee, that is bad luck, Dennis. I don't know whether it's gearbox or engine, but either way, he's out of the game.
Yeah, something reasonably terminal. As you said, he would have been real excited at going away with maximum points from this round. I think the other competitors all expected him to dominate at this track, but something is definitely majorly wrong with his machine.
Well, let's have a look at it. Atlee's still going for it. Boy, oh boy, the front's trying to push. He's driving it out on the throttle. The Hondas really do have a strong power band. You get to about 9,000 RPM, that's where it really starts to come on board. And they go all the way to about 12,800 RPM, and they make big power up around those revs. The trick is, of course, coming up with the right gearing and keeping corner speeds up. 250 Grand Prix bikes are tough to ride. You have to be accurate and you have to be smooth. You can't afford to be forceful on the motorcycle. Look at the different styles. As we've seen Payton before, Alan Watts is very economical on the machine. He's tighter with it. But by the same token, he's also very efficient with the machine, and it seems to work for him. The front sliding there as he's coming down the hill. He certainly knows that it's the last time because he's headed for the checkered flag. This will be a good victory for him. Sure enough, gets across the line. Dennis, good ride.
Excellent ride, made the trip well worthwhile. That'll give him a lot more confidence for the rest of the championship.
Certainly will. Great run from him from Western Australia. That's Alan Watts, your victor. Behind him, young Marty Atlee. Great ride into second. Okay, time now for the sports sedans. We're off to Oran Park.
Nice to have your company.